Everyone's always out here focusing on the big stuff, whether that's dream job, dream life, dream everything. But what some fail to consider is that our future life is automatically delivered to you through these tiny and almost passive micro habits that you do day to day, unconsciously, no matter what your goals are. It's what you do that matters. This includes the tiny choices that you make, the things that you surround yourself with, even the words that you speak and the routines that you have all add up to shape your reality. So if you keep stacking all of that to work for you over time, you're going to be living in a completely different life. My life is a great example of that actually, and I'm always manifesting no matter what. And then every year I always find myself in a completely different place in my life. Think of it like passive income, right? You build a system that works for you and pays you even while you're sleeping. So here are a few things that I do to basically be manifesting around the clock. And if you're new here, my name is May, and I talk about optimizing our lives so that we can live our best lives. And number one, let's talk about alignment audit. Literally look around you at all of the things that you own. Everything, like think about your clothes that you wear, your phone, the chair that you're sitting on, the bed that you sleep on, the dishes piling up in the sink, things like that. These are all conscious decisions, whether you choose to do something or not, that you made to have in your home or even in the location that you are in right now. By the way, I'm not home right now, but that choice will ripple forward. Like for example, if you keep going to the gym, you're going to be fit. But if you're young and you're living with your parents or at an Airbnb or something like that where you can't control things like your furniture, what can you add or adjust in your surroundings that make your personal space feel more like you or to help you manifest your future self? So like I said, I'm not at home. I'm actually at a hotel in Sofia, Bulgaria right now. I'm traveling, and I've actually been traveling for most of summer. Somehow I literally just ended up spending my summer in the Balkans. Anyway, I have an interesting story about the hotel and I'm going to tell you about it in a bit, but I chose to be at this specific hotel for a reason that will literally affect my future somehow. I don't know to what extent, but I have plans, okay? I see the vision, so I will take inspired action that reflects my future self. That's literally what manifestation is. And another example is we touch our phones more than anything else in our lives. Something like I heard 200 times a day, maybe more for me. Here's the question, right? Is your phone just a phone, or is there an intention behind it where it's quietly reinforcing the version of you that you want to become or that you're becoming? They say that your phones are literally a portal into the internet and the rest of the world that connects you with so much knowledge and so much of everything else, honestly. Some of us just live on our phones. And while I'm in Bulgaria, I don't think I'll be able to get around so easily without things like my Google Maps, my translation app, my taxi apps. So I have this chain thingy that I attach to my phone when I go outside. So I wear it like a strap when I walk around. And I like black. So this color represents who I am. And then this wallpaper is me on vacation in the Bahamas. And sometimes I use my phone to shoot content. So technically, I use my phone to make money. This is literally mini me. It's a reflection of who I am, and I make sure that it serves me. So I recently switched to the Torras Ostand Q3 Silicone case, and they're the sponsor of today's video. This case has that quiet luxury apple silicone feel that I love, and I know many people also love that, but in my opinion, much better design. Initially, they sent me a different color to try out, but I actually ended up buying another color so that I can change it back and forth to match my outfit. Torras is the #1 brand of MagSafe stand cases, and it's designed for people like me who needs this extra functionality but still wants a high quality phone case. The 360-degree rotating kickstand means I can go from filming videos for my Instagram stories to streaming videos while I'm chilling out on the couch to even taking a selfie on my own when I'm outside walking around exploring a new city. This design is honestly so good. I even love how well designed the ring holder is, where I can attach a hook so that I can wear my phone crossbody. The hinge has been tested for 30,000 folds, so it's built to last. It also has 18N MagSafe strength that's 40% stronger than standard cases, so that I can charge my phone very easily with a MagSafe charger. It's got solid protection with reinforced airbags on every corner and raised bezels to keep your screen and your camera protected. The food-grade liquid silicone itself is soft, it's thin, anti-slip, fingerprint resistant, and it's lined with microfiber on the inside so it doesn't scratch my phone. So if you're serious about aligning your life, why not start with what you touch the most? And that will kick every other subconscious and passive habits into gear for you. I'm going to add a link for the Torras Ostand Q3 Silicone case in the video description below so that you can make a decision in the present moment that matches your future self. The way that you calibrate your brain through your language is probably one of the most powerful and yet tiny things you can do to change your life. Your words are like micro manifestations. Every single word that comes out of your mouth becomes your truth. So when I hear people talk about themselves, I'm not just hearing their words, I'm also hearing their mental state, their health, their financial situation, their relationships with other people, and also how they think of themselves through the schemas or the things that they're affirming to me about their beliefs. So you need to really start paying attention to what you're saying. And I'm going to tell you my manifestation story, okay? And I have a lot of these stories, but this is just like the most recent one. So this hotel, right? I chose this hotel and I saw options for different rooms. Some of them have a view of the cathedral across the street, some don't. And the windows that are in those regular rooms are kind of small. And then they're like the fanciest suites. And honestly, for some reason, with the fancy suites, they had only like one photo and it was kind of bad. And I was thinking to myself, okay, well, I want something larger than that tiny window and I will get it. I don't know how, but somehow I will get what I want. So I booked the regular room and I wrote a note in my booking request to have a nice room because I'm celebrating something. Although low-key, I always say that I'm celebrating, but I'm celebrating my life basically. Like every day is a celebration, right? So anyway, when I checked into the hotel 2 days ago, they told me that I got a free upgrade to a suite with a rooftop terrace and lots of skylights. And I was actually like, oh, wait a minute. I didn't even know that this hotel had rooftop terraces because like I said, the photos that they had weren't very good. So when I got to my room and I went to the terrace, I saw not only the cathedral, but I'm also seeing this giant statue of Saint Sophia right in front of me, which honestly is just way more magical than I ever expected. I'm always telling the universe, you know, surprise me, just give me something better than I can ever imagine. And by the way, they give me free champagne, but I don't really drink, so I guess it's just for display. But I always say this, everything works out for me in my favor and ends up being better than I can ever dream of. So stop saying things like, oh, I'm trying, or I don't think I can do it, or this is impossible for me, and replace that with, it is possible. I know I can do that. I am doing that. I'm already doing it, or I'm becoming. Switch from saying things like, oh, if I can, to when I do. These tiny swaps in your language change your energy completely, even if you don't feel it. There's a book actually called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy, and he talks about how your subconscious will accept whatever you tell it repeatedly as the truth. This is why affirmations are important, but the way that it works is you also have to believe in it. Some people are constantly saying affirmations, but their minds don't match the words, and so their manifestations fail. You have to believe the words that are coming out of your mouth that whatever you want, eventually you're going to get it. So if you speak like that, the universe will literally rearrange itself to give you what you want. Your brain is going to basically get set in motion and your actions are naturally going to start matching that energy. This is maybe the single-handedly most important point when it comes to manifestation. You have to match the energy or the frequency of your dream life. The next point, also incredibly important, is sensory cues. Manifestation is a full sensory experience, just like your life. You're not just seeing things, you're also smelling, you're feeling, you're sensing. So I want you to assign certain scents and sounds and textures to the version of you that you're stepping into. This is actually what I did recently. So yesterday, I bought a perfume called Pont Motel by Court Eternal. It's not sponsored. I'm just telling you what I bought. And this is my new signature scent, basically. So I've been so used to using like random perfumes I can get my hands on. Like some of them don't really feel like me, but I wear it anyway. But this time, I really wanted something that smelled like the most authentic version of myself, and that's a goal for me that I'm working towards. Basically, my current goal is to become fully, authentically myself, even if other people don't like it. You know, some people really hate on my looks, by the way, and I can only feel sorry for them because they can't express themselves like I do. I want to get more tattoos, wear more adventurous clothes, and really just develop my personal style into my physical personality even more, if that makes sense to you. So recently, I've been wearing lots of silk and cotton and kitten heels lately, and I've never felt better and more ready to be in my ideal state. And you can do this in different ways too. Like for example, you can pick a specific fragrance that you only associate and wear when you're working specifically on certain goals. So that means if you smell that specific fragrance, your brain is going to turn on and know, okay, now is the time to focus and be productive. Or if you invest in a high quality silk pillowcase and a very comfortable mattress topper for your bed, every time you sleep on your bed, you're going to feel abundant and luxurious. And you can even create like a playlist, for example, for working out or when you're very focused and locked in on your work, and only play it when you're in that specific mode. The cathedral bells are going off, by the way. Anyways, I learned about this from Joe Dispenza actually in his book called Becoming Supernatural. And he says that sensory cues are one of the fastest ways to train your body to expect a certain emotional state. And manifestation is absolutely about the emotional state that you're in. You have to feel how you feel when you reach your goals. And so whatever you can do to like get into your body and condition your mind and your senses to get used to that new frame of thought, I want you to do that. Next thing, and this is also easy to change, is your wardrobe. So think about who you want to be. Look at your Pinterest board, for example. Maybe you have a Pinterest board called That Girl, because I know I do. And in my Pinterest board, I already dress exactly like her, and that girl is also me. So stop waiting for some day to arrive to start dressing like the person that you want to become, because you have to decide what day that is, and ideally that's today. But also remember, you're not doing all of it at once, you know? You don't have to throw out everything and spend like thousands of dollars on a new closet. You can make decisions bit by bit. So when I first started dressing like me, I didn't have a huge budget. I just started thrift shopping, and I still do that today. I upgrade one piece at a time and get rid of all of the stuff that I didn't like anymore, and I bought my jewelry and accessories one piece at a time. It's not about pretending to be someone else that you're not, because you are your future self and you decide who you get to be. And if you're not dressing like yourself, then you are being pretentious. Literally, like for example, if I care so much about what narrow-minded people think of me when I wear my clothes, then I'm not being who I want to be. You are the master of your reality, so you make that decision to become that person that you want to become before everything else catches up to you, even if you don't know how it's going to happen. These little visual cues that you choose to wear will also change other things like your posture, your confidence, and the way that people respond to you as a result of you deciding to upgrade your aesthetic. It all feeds back into your manifestation loop. And honestly, guys, the goal here is to not perform manifestation, but rather just become it. You're becoming who you want to be. So I love this next point. It's free, it's instant, and it makes a huge difference. Like literally, check your posture multiple times a day. Sometimes I catch myself with a hump back while I'm slumped over the desk working, and I have tech neck sometimes, and I'm actively trying very hard to improve of that. Like I do these shoulder exercises, I do it like 100 times a day. So I check my posture throughout the day, and I tell myself, my future hot baddie self wouldn't do that, by the way. She would not be slouching. And if you're slumped over, your jaw also gets really tight, and the rest of your face gets really tight, and your shoulders and your neck, your body is literally broadcasting stress like nothing else. And eventually, your facial muscles are pulling everything downwards. Oh my gosh, you guys, I got so riled up that my light, like my floodlight, went off in the middle of the video. I don't know when that was, but anyway, you need to learn how to manage your nervous system, because stress is going to eventually show up on your face, especially because muscle tension pulls everything downwards. So instead, roll your shoulders back, open your chest, relax your jawline, and just add a tiny bit of a smile. Just like smile with your eyes if you have to, and it will instantly change how you feel about yourself living inside of your physical body, and it will also change how people see you instantly. Like seriously, some of us are very afraid of our bodies. We need to stop doing that. We have to treat our bodies like our temples, because it is. Posture is so important. It can literally transform you into a different person. And I spoke a lot about mastering your body language in a recent video, and you can go and watch that on my channel if you want. But your posture doesn't just affect how other people see you, it also changes your hormones and your confidence levels. So basically, when you have great posture, your body starts to tell your brain automatically, we're powerful, we're confident, we got this. And that's you micro-manifesting without even thinking about it, just by changing your posture. Next is having a morning anchor. What we do in our mornings would reinforce the rest of our day. So there's this psychological reasoning that our minds are actually the most suggestible in the morning, because that's when your brain hasn't yet been flooded with decisions that you have to make, or other people's energies, or your social media feeds. So think about this. If you're scrolling on your phone the first thing that you wake up, are you being intentional about your morning, about your life? If I'm going to be highly suggestible to anything in the morning, then it might as well be for the life that I'm building. Like if I wake up grumpy and I say to myself, my day is ruined, then guess what? My day is ruined. You have the power to decide if you have a good day or not. So this one's very easy, very powerful. You basically choose one object that anchors you to your future self every single morning. This could be like a coffee mug that you love, or a quote, or a candle that you light while you do journaling, or even a mantra or something, or even a glass of water next to your end table. The key is to be consistent. Use it every day and only for that one specific ritual, and your brain will start linking that object or that saying to a specific emotional state. Ideally, these emotional states are you being focused, you living in an abundance mindset, and being grateful and having faith, honestly. Faith is also known as blind belief. You have no idea how it's going to happen, but you know it's going to happen. So basically, having faith in whatever your future self is in, it is in you right now. So that even in the mornings when you don't feel very good, or you feel lazy and distracted, that one object or affirmation basically anchors you back into alignment. It's the same thing as like having muscle memory, but for your new self-concept. You're basically telling your brain, oh right, I almost forgot, but we're in that version of of our reality now, so that your brain listens to you and you reinforce that through the anchoring. And then lastly, how do you spend your money? So think about the money that you put into transactions that you make throughout the day, right? Whether it's like buying a bottle of water or something, that alone says a lot about you and what you think you deserve. Do you deserve Dasani? Which honestly, don't buy Dasani, guys. Like, that's like the worst water brand. It's owned by like whatever, I'm not gonna get into it. But are you choosing Dasani or Fiji water, right? And by the way, I didn't buy this, the hotel gave it to me. But I always observe the things that people choose to buy for themselves, because every time that you spend money, you are casting a vote for the kind of life that you want to live, whether that's a Happy Meal in McDonald's or a healthy protein bowl and a green juice. That's a conscious decision that you're making for your health, for your life, for your manifestations. For me, I love to spend money on trips, vacations, traveling, because I feel the most alive and present when I'm traveling, and I always make the most of it. And it's also why I organize group trips, because I want to be in beautiful places, experiencing beautiful things with my people. And I just love seeing my community connect and make friends with each other and create lifelong memories, which honestly, like literally my last trip was the start of a new chapter for all of us, including me. That's priceless to me. And travel to me has limitless ROI, return on investment. It just keeps giving back to you. And when you're constantly experiencing newness and novelty in your life, it literally makes you brighter, healthier, happier, and you're just more open to having even better things for yourself, because now you're able to see what you can get. By the way, if you're curious about my group trips, you can add yourself to my newsletter, because I will be announcing my next group trip in 2026 pretty soon, actually. So before you buy something, anything, just ask yourself, would my future self spend on this? Sometimes the answer is yes, sometimes it's no, but even that tiny pause will shift your relationship with money from being reactive to being very intentional. And I want you guys to not demonize money or worship money, because that's really not like a powerful thing to do. Who or what you give your emotions to is so important, and this is why I practice stoicism, because I want to be able to manage my moods and control my impulses. And especially when it comes to money, when you have feelings or emotions about money, like when you say you love money or you hate it, money is my life, I feel sad about money, things like that, you are giving power to it. You cannot let money control you like that, because that mentality honestly has ruined a lot of people's lives. And if you're the master of your life, you have to become also the master of your money and use it as a tool to serve you, even when it comes down to whether you have it or not, right? If you have 1 cent, you have money, and as long as you're productive in your life, you will continue to make money. So don't say that you don't have it, because then you're only limiting yourself. Ideally, you're aligning your financial decisions with abundance, with your goals, with what you want out of your life. You can absolutely use money to buy things that make you happy, okay? I don't believe that, oh, money doesn't buy you happiness. That is so not true. Like I said, as long as you have 1 cent, you know in here that you have that money, whether it's soon or right now or in the near future. And as long as you're stable financially and you want to make a small investment to upgrade your life, then check yourself and ask, would my future self buy that? And then you can aim to buy that for yourself, because you're making these decisions right now to step into the future in your present moments. And that is yet another way of how you can just kick everything into motion so that you end up manifesting your dream life. If you made it this far, affirm with me in the comments, I am living my dream life. And I know that to be true, because I know that you are. Even for me, I used to not be able to believe that I could live a life like this, but now I do, and I am. Anyways, I love you all, and I make videos like these every week. I will see you in the next one.